Maude was a smart TV show in the 1970s on CBS. Maude Findlay, played by the great B. Arthur, was basically the liberal version or the liberal suburban version of Archie Bunker. I don't know if you remember, but the show All in the Family was really in character the Archie Bunker TV show. Archie Bunker was the right-wing bigot, the narrow-minded bigot played by the great Carol O'Connor. And Maude was a spin-off of All in the Family. Maude Findlay, played by Arthur, as I stated earlier, was basically the liberal, more upper-middle-class version of Archie Bunker. The show was on CBS from 1972 through 1978. It was developed by the great Norman Lear and Bud Yorkin. It was a highly successful spin-off. It was one of the first spin-offs that was ever created on TV, I believe. It was a highly rated, highly successful show in the 1970s. The show basically dealt with a lot of controversial subject matter in a very smart way, which I'm going to get to later in the video. In the fictional plot, Maude, the Bunkers, and the Jeffersons all lived in the same neighborhood in an area of New York around the line to New York City. The show The Jeffersons was also a spin-off of All in the Family. George Jefferson, played by the late great Sherman Hemsley, was the African-American version of a right-wing Republican. So you see where this is kind of going politically in the fictional plot. They kind of balanced it out in a lot of ways in a humorous and controversial way for the times. The show Maude had a lot of famous TV actors in it, which is quite shocking. It was an ensemble cast with a highly intelligent salon of actors in the show. Bill Macy was on there, Conrad Bain, Rue McClanahan, and Adrienne Barbeau. You may remember that Rue McClanahan was later with B. Arthur on the great show The Golden Girls back in the 1980s. Adrienne Barbeau was the ex-wife of the famous director John Carpenter. John Carpenter did many famous movies like the Halloween franchise, Escape from New York, and The Fog. So there was a lot of famous people on this show with a lot of talent. The show Maude dealt with highly controversial subject matter for the times in regards to social and political issues of those times. And really, I think there's still issues now. Most of these are still major issues now. Some things really don't change that much. Maude Findlay was a fairly typical suburban liberal for those times. In this video, I'm going to get into a lot of information on why I think it was an important show and why I think it was one of the most important shows in history, at least when it came to politics. So here we go. The show dealt with a lot of rough subject matter in a smart way. One thing I liked about Lear and Yorkin is they showed some of the stupidity of Maude's liberal views within a show that had liberal bias. So there was some objectivity in the show, meaning this: you still had Republican, Libertarian, and liberal characters within the show. So there was some objectivity in the show, not just entertainment value. The show displayed a healthy debate on issues with a lot of intelligence, which I think is still lacking on TV today, depending on what time periods you look at in the last maybe 30 years. I don't think the show would be on TV now. I seriously doubt it, and I will tell you why. It was important as a show because of its smarts, its cerebral nature. I seriously doubt if it would be on TV now because we have become so PC or so politically correct in our nation that nobody can be offended about just about anything anymore. I doubt if it would be on. I could be wrong, but I doubt it. Society is so divided now on paper between the far right and the far left, this show would probably never be on. I could be wrong. I doubt I'm wrong. Or are we that divided? There's another school of thought on this issue. Remember, social division favors the establishment. It favors the established order of any society. People need to stop looking at the extremes in their social media feeds. They need to start looking more at mainstream reality, at least when it comes to social issues. People need to look at objective fact based on evidence. What is the truth? Well, the truth is still relevant because the truth will always exist if you can prove the truth on evidence. The truth is still real. We all live in the truth. We all live in our own day-to-day practical lives, which is the truth for us. Remember, liberals and Republicans and moderates and whoever and independents can always be right on some issues simultaneously, meaning all groups can be right on issues at the same time. Many things can be true at the same time. Many conspiracies can be true at the same time if they're proven by evidence. You can have people being right about different things at the same time depending on the issue. Each party can be right about some things at any given time depending on the issue. No one philosophy has a monopoly on all the truth, as you're seeing lately with the Republican Party and the racial issue. No one party can be right about everything all the time. It's simply not reality. Maude definitely showed this, that people can be right at different times about different things depending on the philosophy. Maude definitely showed that we can agree to disagree and still exist and subsist together in society and maybe even live in the same neighborhood in society. That's lacking right now, and it's awfully sad. Maude showed that people can live together in a neighborhood and not completely agree on all things political. That's very, very important right now, as the division is a problem to a certain degree, although I think some of it may be blown out of range. Maude definitely showed all these things and more. It showed that many things can be true at the same time, and it shows how we can debate issues smartly without destroying each other's lives. People can accept other people's opinions and beliefs and still exist together. That's one of the reasons I think it was one of the most important shows when it comes to politics in the history of TV. It will always be one of my favorite shows. Once again, thank you for your time. Thank you for your consideration. I'll be back next week with more exciting content. Thank you for your time. It's free to subscribe.